So hi everyone, my name is Eva and I'm an international student from the Netherlands and I'm part of the UNC field hockey team. This year was one of the best years of my life as we had a perfect season with 0 losses and we won a national championship. However, I didn't expect it to be also one of the hardest years of my life. See, what people maybe don't know is that for the last couple of years I've been struggling with an eating disorder. Now some of you might think, how can she be struggling with an eating disorder? She doesn't look sick. And that is exactly what I kept telling myself. I didn't look skinny enough to be considered sick. I'm not the skinniest on my team, so I'm fine. I'm still able to play field hockey, so I'm fine. However, I realize now that my eating disorder tricks me into believing things that aren't necessarily true. I try to convince myself that nothing was wrong, even though so many people came up to me saying they were either worried or noticed I changed. Yet I didn't listen and thought that they were just exaggerating. Since the age of 16, I've struggled with an eating disorder. Now I can tell you all about that, but I don't think it matters as much for now. What matters is how it affects my life here at UNC. My first year in college, I immediately got in contact with Jenny, Rachel, and Kelsey, and had a lot of support from sports medicine, who helped me every week by talking to me and making sure I was doing all right. First, it was just for homesickness, but later on we realized that there was another reason, a fight that I have with myself. During my freshman year, I acknowledged that I have an eating disorder. I gained and lost weight and wasn't treating my body right. In the beginning of my sophomore year, I struggled even more with my health. I had reached a point where I wasn't cleared to play field hockey. Every day, I was consumed by my own thoughts about nutrition and body image. I labeled food as good and bad and thought in order to be the best athlete, I had to be strict and only eat the food I would label as healthy. I was restricting, and after a while, I have faced the consequences. I couldn't sleep, would wake up 3 times a night out of hunger, was always tired, wasn't focused at practice, didn't have my period, became less social, and my parents didn't recognize me anymore. I was doing everything I could to be skinny and toned. I wanted to get this ideal body that society teaches us to strive for. I didn't even realize that my struggles were also influencing the people around me. My younger sister felt insecure about her body because she saw how I was treating mine. My parents were always worried and still feel powerless. My housemates have to deal with the fact that I have mood swings and they feel responsible for helping me. My fight became their fight as well, as they want the best for me. See, I have this very strong belief in achieving anything you can as long as you work really hard for it. So I believe that if I would work hard enough, I would achieve my version of what a body should look like. Social media played a major role in that as well. So how many of you have Instagram? Exactly. How many of you check Instagram within 1 hour of waking up? Well, I did, and one of the first things, I would go to my discovery page, and the first messages that I would get were these. Eat less without noticing, fat loss pyramid, eating healthy but not losing weight, 12 ways to control hunger, athletes consume this and not that. That is how I would start my day. I was so consumed by these messages that it hurt my ability to play field hockey. The reason I'm here is to play field hockey. Yet here I was, standing on the sideline watching my team play for the first time in our new stadium. I missed our home game opener in Karen Shelton Stadium with more than 1,000 people watching. For what? All to look thin and feel like I succeeded, while the reality was that the only thing I succeeded in was destroying my own body. The fact that I wasn't playing brought another problem with it as well. How am I going to explain to people why I'm not playing? I have an eating disorder and I lost too much weight to be able to play wasn't really an option for me. Mental health is hard to talk about, but in order to make it more comfortable, we as athletes have to open up about our internal struggles. A lot of the times, people would also say to me the thing that would make sense to them. Why do you not just eat? And I get that. It seems very simple and it should be very simple. At the end of the day, food is just fuel. However, to me, it wasn't about the food. It was about me connecting confidence, self-worth, success, beauty, all to being skinny. So if I was told that I needed to gain weight, I felt insecure, unsuccessful, and ugly. I knew that recovery was going to be uncomfortable, and I would have to sit through discomfort in order to get fully better. I always try to describe it by comparing it to sitting in an ice bath, and we all know how horrible ice baths are. My recovery is in a way just like that. Every time I step with one foot in the ice bath, and my first initial thought is to step out of it, as it is painful and uncomfortable, and it doesn't help me right in the moment. However, I need to fully step into the ice bath and sit with the pain and just wait, because the longer I will be in the ice bath, the less painful it will be eventually. And the next day, I know I will feel much better. That's the same with my recovery. I need to sit through the discomfort and just wait, as it will get less uncomfortable every day, and eventually I will see the benefits. See, I have to gain weight in order to get cleared again. Sports medicine gave me specific goals I have to reach in order for me to fully return to the field. And I do mean it when I say that there is nothing more that I want than to be back on the field as soon as possible and play with my team, who I see as my family. However, my recovery won't be a linear one. I still have bad days where I feel uncomfortable with weight gaining, and I'm afraid for my body to change in a way that I don't want it to do. One thing I keep telling myself is that this body I got from my mother and my father. It got me into Carolina. It gave me the opportunity to meet my best friends, and it gave me the opportunity to win a national championship. So every time I want to destroy my body, I keep telling myself that I want to treat my body the way I want my sister to treat hers, with kindness and appreciation for what our bodies can do. Because at the end of the day, I want to be remembered for my field hockey, or for being kind and smart, or a good sister, and not just for having a certain body type. Another thing I came to realize here at UNC is that there are a lot of people here to help you. It is important that as student athletes, we utilize our resources in a way that benefits us. Sports medicine understands that mental health is just as important as physical health. Opening up about my mental struggles to Jenny, Rachel, and Scott was one of the best things that I could have done. They agreed to do whatever it takes to help me with my recovery. And I know it's hard to open up about mental health. I still think it's hard. I would have days where I was so upset and had panic attacks right before practice, and I had to pretend that everything was fine. I had to play without showing emotion, because I thought mental health wasn't enough reason to tell my coaches why I wasn't performing during practice. In today's society, mental health is still isn't considered as equally important, because it isn't physically visible, so we must be exaggerating. These messages are a few things that go through my mind when I think about mental health. You need to get out more. It's only your mind. Stop complaining all the time. Stop looking for attention. You don't look anxious or depressed. It sounds like you're going crazy. No one ever said life was fair. However, I think we all know that we all have some internal struggles. Some more than others, but we all have days where we just mentally break down. I hope that we as athletes understand the importance of speaking up about their mental health and make it something that we can talk about without feeling ashamed or think it isn't important enough. I want to emphasize how much it helped me to hear other athletes talk about their mental struggles, because it can be very hard when you feel like you're the odd one out or the only one that has mental issues. I know that there are people that struggle just as me with their body image here, and I know that recovery is a process that will take some time. And with this talk, I know I'm yet another step closer to my own recovery. Thank you all for listening.